Show 216-578-1985 is the phone number. All right, what's the status with the traffic? Yes, more traffic? No traffic.
Goes away at 9.
Goes away at 9. Okay. Well, let me get rid of it here. Stand by. Okay, standing by.
Standing by.
Standing by. Getting rid of the traffic. And getting rid of the traffic and standing by. Portache. Portache. How you doing? We all settling in here? We good?
Yeah, oh yeah.
What's the vibe like in the building? I already took 5 texts. Already. Everyone at our old radio station in the building is listening to us.
Yeah, I got those
Everyone.
too. I got those too. Well, you had to expect that.
And I guess the morning guy over there's losing his mind.
Interesting.
And look, that's going to happen because we will win. We will win. And we will consistently win. People like it. Blame the listeners. Don't blame us. Everyone over there.
Yeah, I've gotten all those too.
So, thanks for listening over there on Oak Tree. But more importantly, thanks for welcoming us back.
Yes.
We're back!
Finally.
It's good to be back. It's been a long year. A lot of lessons learned.
Yeah, put your money away was a big one.
I was telling you 6 months before we lost our job, I said, start saving money.
That wouldn't
and
help
no
me.
one and no one believed me.
Yeah, but you didn't even do it.
Well, he was trying to do it. His wife was spending money that he didn't know about.
No, we shut it down.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
6 months beforehand?
About 3.
Okay.
About 3 months before. But I told him, I said, I've been through this before. I've been fired a lot. Save your shekels.
Yeah, I was in denial.
Dan was in denial. So let's pick up the story, okay? Let's tell people what really happened. The story was that radio station offered me a ton of money, and I said no.
Right.
The day they made the announcement that we were off the air, which was the exact date, I don't know. I know our last live day on the radio was November 17th, 2009, so it's like a couple weeks shy of an entire year since we've been live on the radio in Cleveland. And the show is live in Cleveland. Some people think it's syndicated back in. No.
Not quite that lucky.
Yeah, we're in the hellhole with you. The hellhole of Cleveland. Cleveland, we're a hellhole. Cleveland's a hellhole.com. We're all in here together. We are broadcasting live from downtown. That's cool. I actually like it. Great building, great facilities, great company. Glad to be here. When we last left our job, they had made an offer, and it was a complete slap in the face. You have to understand. When we were last at MMS, we were the #1 radio show in afternoons. We were #1 with all men 18 to 34. We were #1 with all persons 18 to 34. We were #1 with all men 25 to 54. We were #1 with all persons 25 to 54. We were #1 with all men between the ages of 18 and 49. If you are an advertiser, that is a desirable, what we call demographic. We made those people a ton of money. And as the American dream goes, the American dream does go, you work hard, you win.
Clear to work hard.
You work hard and you win, you get rewarded, right?
Right.
Get the job done, get rewarded. We got the job done. Beating Trevisano, beating everyone on the radio in the afternoon. They present us with an offer that's horrible. I can't get into specifics about it, but I will tell you that it was, there were no raises built in throughout the entire thing.
3-year deal, no raises year 2 or year 3.
And the bonus structure was non-existent.
Right.
It existed, but the way it worked, it made it non-existent.
Yeah, that's going to be way too inside.
They came to Stansbury with a total slap in the face. Dan is more than just your regular sidekick.
Well, thanks for that.
Oh, absolutely you are.
I'd like to think so.
Dan brings a ton to this radio show. The funniest guy on the air who does your job in the city of Cleveland, bar none.
Thanks. I would agree with
Better than Dieter, better than Jimmy Malone, better than all of them, better than all of them.
Thank you.
Slap in the face deal. Dan and I meet to discuss this deal that they've sent us. And as we're talking it over and we're talking to our people, preparing to send maybe something back, even though they said take it or leave it, I get a phone call and they say, we don't want you here.
Before even hearing our decision.
Yeah. So they say, we're done. We're not in the Maxwell business. So when they then go on the radio and tell the city that they offered me a deal and I said, no, that's a lie.
Right.
When they then go out into the advertising community and say, we wanted them here, that's a lie. You didn't want me here. You sent me packing. What they then did is they came after Dan.
The same night.
And said...
They called me that night and said, we're done with the Maxwell show, but we are interested in moving forward with you. And... Of course, given everything that had been happening over the last couple of weeks there and this and that, I wasn't interested in hearing anything anybody had to say at that point. I was like, I'm done. I don't care what happens. I'm gonna wrap. Dude, if this career's over, then fine, whatever. I'm done. I'm walking away from it. So I said, I'm just not even interested in it. So a couple hours go by, and then they call and they said, well, we'd like to see him here in the building tomorrow. They call our people and say, will you send Dan in tomorrow? We'd like to meet with him tomorrow at 10:30 in the morning. And I know what this is. This is we'll put him in the big boardroom, and we'll stare at him. And, you know what I mean? And then he'll realize, and he'll want to stay. And I told our people, I was like, this is exactly what they're doing. I know what they're doing. I've seen this movie. Fine. I'll go in there tomorrow, and I'll listen to what they have to say. Do I have time to get into this?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit.
All right.
I'll tell you when we have to stop.
All right. So they make their whole pitch about how it was just time to be done with Maxwell, right? Which I thought was a little strange because I was like, this isn't the right way to approach me with this, given everything I have just seen. And they say to me, but, and they were doing everything to make a guy want to, you know what I mean? It was like, you're the star, you're the one people like, you know what I mean? It was like...
And some of that's true, Dan. People love you. You are incredibly funny, and to be honest, you're funnier than I am. Look, I won't even argue that.
My response to that has always been is that, do I feel as if I'm a star? Yeah, but one of three, not the.
Aww.
And so, they're giving me that whole thing. We love you, you're great, and all this and all that. And they said, here's what we're prepared to offer you financially. And it was a lot more than what the deal was for us to stay as a unit together. A lot more.
So you see what they did. They came at him low so that they could get him to screw me over, take a job, and they came at you hard. Hard.
I don't want to get into...
But hard.
Exact numbers.
Good money.
But it was $40,000 more than the deal they offered me to stay with.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
It was a lot of money.
I mean, at the end of the day, it was a lot of money.
And all he had to do was stab everyone in the back.
Right. And it was the whole thing, too, because they were like, look, you won't even have to work. You'll have to, just show. No, seriously, it was like, show up at 2:30, leave at 7:05. All you need to do is walk into the studio, be funny, and then, your job's done. When it comes to endorsements, you'll be the first one, to pick those. And, appearances, you'll have, right of first refusal for everything. We're going to make this about you. This will be your show, but we're going to have somebody else kind of run it for you.
And I'm sure that's what they were telling that guy at the time.
Right. So then they tell me, you'll also be included in our decision on who we hire to work with you, which I thought was funny because the guy had already toured the building. He had already been seen because they weren't smart enough to think about the fact that there were people who worked in that building who still like me and were going to tell me that.
Yeah.
And there were people associated with this show who were still in the building who saw that happen. And so I was like, okay, well, you're lying to me about that. So what else are you lying to me about? Which made me go, so I heard them all. I was like, I don't know if this is the right situation for me to be. I felt a little guilty about even having the conversation. Given that the one guy in that building that saw talent in me was this guy right here, and everybody else in that building was like, you're insane. He's a promo staffer. He hangs banners. You do not put people like that on the radio. And he was the one guy going, I got to tell you, funniest guy I've ever met. He's going on the radio. And so I felt a little guilty about having the conversation. So I let him, we get to the whole, conversation. I stand up and I say, look, it's an attractive offer. There's no denying that. There's some definite positives to it, but I'm inclined at this moment to say no. And we shook hands, parted ways. Then they made me come back later that night to pack up the office
Yeah.
so nobody saw them firing.
Yeah. And they wouldn't